had put all my savings into GME, game stocks. And I went all in, YOLO mode. Even made a post on Reddit. It's painful, it's really painful. Since currently I'm unemployed, and the reason why I left my job is to invest in the stock market and become, how do you say, become financially independent. So up until this moment, I was always investing into.
Tell me a little bit about, when did you get into investing? Because you're a pretty young guy. When did you first get into investing? Yeah.
First, I got into investing in cryptocurrency. That was in 2017, right before the crash. But back then, I didn't have that much money, so I didn't lose anything. And then I didn't know much about the stock market. And I think it was quite complicated for us in France. And right during the COVID, I was like, okay, COVID is going to come. There's going to be, the market's going to crash. So I guess it's a good time to buy in. Just simple as that. And that's when I started. So I'm like a COVID investor, as they say.
Okay, can I tell you what's crazy about that? That's me as well, bro. That's me as well. I didn't know nothing about the stock market until that. And let me tell you, I'll go first because we're going to get to you this whole interview, but I'll tell you this. I feel like I was trained incorrectly to think like making money in the stock market was the easiest thing ever, because I got in at like the very lowest point, right? So I had a friend of mine tell me, who's been investing for a long time. He's like, you could have put your money in anything and been successful, like when you got in. It didn't even matter kind of which company. Do you agree?
Of course. I do agree 100%.
So that trained me to be like, it was easy, and it's not that easy, I got to tell you, because I kept on trying to do it and I lost some money trying to move some investments around, and I'm like, I'm on the sidelines a little bit right now with my investing. When you first got in, you got into like quote unquote more normal stocks, right? Not like GME and AMC and these meme stocks, right?
Yes and no, because I first had like in my mind, first thing I had is Tesla, because I saw that it went down so bad. So I at that time, I don't know if Tesla was like also one of like these meme stocks.
Yeah.
But also it wasn't just Tesla, it was Boeing and some normal companies, real companies.
For the most part, you started out kind of, a sensible investor.
Yeah.
You shared dollar amounts in your video, right? I think you started with 15,000 and you worked it up to 80,000. That was all done through the Boeings, the Teslas and the Apples, right?
So Boeing was just like the first step. There was like a spike and then I sold. I was kind of conservative, because I started like with a fresh basis and I was like, okay, let's just do the right thing. And so I had like these three stocks, Tesla, Square, and Microsoft.
All very like conservative to me. Microsoft, Square, like pretty conservative.
Yeah, nothing crazy. And then at a certain time, when I heard that Tesla was going to be included in the S&P 500, I switched into leverage.
Explain to the listeners what leverage is.
Okay. So what leverage is, so if Tesla goes up 10%, you make 10%. That's the normal Tesla. But leverage Tesla times 3, you go up 3 times. So you will go 30% instead of 10%.
But you also go down 30%.
Yeah, and you also go down 30%. But I came in, I did this at the right time. So I had like a big catalyst. And that's how I went from 15K to 80K. It happened like very quickly.
Before you made that big move with Tesla leveraged, did you have any like bumps in the road?
I did get through some like bumps in the road, but that was right in the beginning when I didn't put a lot of money. Because I was just kind of testing, just started with 1,000 and I had a few losses with like some bad companies.
It doesn't hurt as bad when you lose, 1,000 or 800.
But it did hurt me as bad. It was my first experience. So when I saw my account was like minus $800, it hurt me a lot.
Oh my God.
I was like, okay, these companies are bad. I'm going to switch, because I was like at the same time doing long-term and kind of try and trade into.
So you were doing a mix of conservative and aggressive then.
Exactly. Yeah. What about you?
What's crazy is I had regular stock, not leverage, not options, regular stock in Tilray, brother. And in Tilray. And I did it before the Reddit push. So I had like something like $8,000 or $9,000 in Tilray before the push, and the $9,000 became 31,000 in 3 days. And I was like, whoa, this is crazy. This is kind of funny. At that time, bro, I was telling myself, I'm not going to look. I'm just going to sit in it for a while, not look. And I just happened to look, and I noticed, I was like, whoa, it went up 8,000 in one day. Then it went up 10,000 in another day. I'm like, this is crazy. And then on the third day, I'm like, I wonder what's causing this. I didn't know it was Reddit because I told you I was taking a step back. I was like, did they cure cancer? Like, what's going on here, bro? Like, what? So like, I look and I see that it's Reddit. Yeah. The market's going to close in 20 minutes. And I'm like on the phone with the broker, like, you got to get me out of the stock. The market's going to close. And I feel like it's going to drop heavy tomorrow. And I didn't get filled. You know how you got to have an order to get filled? Yeah. Didn't get filled, bro. So I hung on to it. The following morning, I lost like 13,000. Like, it was horrible. 13,000. Very painful. What's most painful about that is I wanted to get out. That I was this close to getting out but couldn't get filled was super painful.
I know the feeling.
Tied to the GameStop story at all?
Yeah, it's a little bit tied to it, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, let's get there, man. So here you are. You made this big move off of Tesla. You're looking really pretty. Everything you're doing seems like you got to get it's perfect, right? Perfect. My heart's going to sink right now because I know what's coming. Do you basically see all of the riffraff going on at GameStop and it got you intrigued or what?
Well, yeah, because it happened at the time when there was like a correction in the market. I'm checking my account every day, even though I'm not doing any trades because I stopped like kind of doing trades. I was just checking. This became like an addiction. The highest all-time high of my portfolio was 78K. It started like going a little bit down. And then I saw GameStop was in the green. All my watch list is in the red. GameStop is in the green. Okay, first day, second day, third day, fourth day. And I'm like,
green, the whole 4 days in a row, green?
With crazy percentages, like 150%.
In one day. Yeah, it's crazy.
In one day, you see, while you see your other stocks like minus 5%.
Yeah.
You're like, what is going on? So I started researching this. I was like, yeah, it's Reddit. And I would normally not recommend anyone to go on Reddit and buy those meme stocks.
Facts. Let's put that out there for the people. This is like your PSA warning right now, right?
Yeah.
Did you find out about GameStop from WallstreetBets? When did you know that Reddit was tied to the GameStop activity? Because like, it sounds like you didn't know that at first.
I did know about it at first, but I didn't pay attention. It was before the spike. So I kind of knew about it, but I didn't know the story behind it. I think it also started popping up on my YouTube channel, on my Yahoo feed. So that's like the thing when you start like NFTs, how do I got to know about them? It's like you see these thumbnails of people everywhere.
So you're seeing it on feeds, you're noticing GameStop around, and then you start to get interested, especially because you see it green 4 days in a row.
Exactly. So I start like looking at GameStop, the story, reading articles, what is going on, going to WallstreetBets, and then seeing Elon Musk also tweeting about it.
Hey, GameStonk.
GameStonk. I was like, no, well, this is really out of proportion. And this market correction was still there. So I was kind of frustrated. I'm not even taking advantage of that. And this is when the FOMO started kicking in. I was like, GameStop is not just like any meme stock. There was something called the short squeeze. Mm-hmm. And for me, it was like an elaborate strategy that would lead the price to go up.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, maybe I can take just advantage of that, make a trade real quick, and then leave.
To make up for some of the other losses in your portfolio, right?
Not even for the losses for portfolio. It was just like, maybe I had like 67K at that time or something like this. Something between 60K and 70K. And then I was like, well, every day I see GameStop making almost 100%. I can just do this one day and double my money and get out with 100K.
You didn't think like, I got 65K, let's say, right? You didn't think, let me throw like 10K in there? I mean, you went really big.
It's like the moment when I started with the leverage, I started with the all-ins before GameStop, experimenting with the all-in, and it worked. Every single time I did it, it worked.
Where did it work all in prior to your going into GameStop? We didn't cover that yet.
So at a certain moment, there was like a big, Tesla went a big spike, and then I sold. I was like, okay, I'm good. I'm going to sell and wait maybe for a correction. Mm-hmm. And there was no correction. It just kept going up. And one friend of mine, she invested in Tesla. She was all in. And the gains that she was making were just like crazy, incredible, all in times 3.
Wow.
And I sold Tesla and Tesla kept going up. So I felt like I missed
That's FOMO.
FOMO. Yeah. I was like, I have to catch up. So what can I buy? And then I saw Tesla went down. There was a correction. I went in again. I got to the all-time high of my portfolio.
This
80K.
is how we get to the 80K, right?
This is with just 15K.
Okay. Whoa.
That's when I got the bad habit of the all-in. Yeah.
Because it was working for you. That's the problem. Yeah, right. It trains the brain to be like, oh, this is easy, right? This is it's not that easy. Tell the listeners it's not that easy.
It's not. It's okay. Oh, I think the amount of frustration and stress that it can put on you, especially during corrections. Wow,
it's not even worth it almost, right? Like it almost is not worth the health hit that I think you take. Yeah, it's not worth it.
It's a brutal place, really brutal place.
The listeners, many of them haven't seen your video where you spoke about your losses in GameStop, right? And I just want to tell you before you get into that story, how much your video touched me, brother. Your video really hit home for me so heavy. And I just want to acknowledge you and thank you for having the courage to put your story out there.
I appreciate that. For sure. It was at a moment where it was just like unbelievable. And I was like, okay.
You said you quit your job to basically become an investor. True, yeah. So now that we put that out there, please tell us. So you see it going 4 days green, right? It's like there. And you're like, man, my all-ins have worked in the past, right? So perfect timing.
Nothing
Let me jump in.
Wrong.
Tell us what happened.
I didn't sleep that much. Now I drank a lot of coffee. And I think that also kind of hyped me up,
Yeah.
And I was like on the phone with my friend. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna all in right now, GameStop. And I was on the phone. So these are the decisions that you need to do when you not like this.
You need to be like focused and really,
exactly. And I think the coffee also did, and the lack of sleep. So it was just the recipe of disaster.
Again, your account right now at this point is like mid 60s roughly. You really took 60 grand or 65, all of it, and just went boom, GameStop.
At first I put like 80%.
Yep.
And then I saw it went down and I was like, I'm going to add more. All what I have.
The up. Yeah.
All what I have. And at a certain moment, I was profitable, but it was just like 3K profits.
That wasn't enough for you, right? You wanted a bigger profit.
Right. I was like, I'm taking the risk of an all-in with all my money just to get 3K. I was like, that's not worth it.
Greed is an interesting thing, right? Because they say there's 2 things that run the market. It's either fear or greed, right? And they're like, which is stronger? Like experts, and I think greed is stronger than fear.
Yeah, I think so too. It's stronger than fear. Otherwise, we wouldn't be having people investing in the stock market if it was driven mainly by fear.
Exactly, because people keep people out of it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's an interesting point that you just spoke about.
Yeah.
I've never really...
You never thought about that?
Thought about that.
Yeah, that's what we do here on this podcast, man.
Love it.
So you literally see, your 65K, you're profitable 3 grand, but then you're minus probably something like 35, 40
35,
grand.
Yeah, even
35.
Then it went down to 40.
Minus 40K. And it's in a space of like an hour, 3 hours a day.
1 day. Yeah. Exactly by the minute. Like,
did you not have words for a minute? Did you get sick to your stomach and want to like throw up? Did you not answer your phone the rest of that day because you didn't want to see anybody? Talk to us about those emotions that immediately followed.
I felt actually empty, numb, like that. You don't really have a feeling. It was the first time. It was too much to realize that, wow, almost 40K in a day. Wow. How much I put into savings. I was putting like barely struggling to put like 10K a year. I couldn't process it, I think. For the first day, and this is when I went to see my friend. And when I made the video, because I was like, okay, I lost a lot of money. At least I gotta share it with my friend, share the gain, share when I'm happy and also when I'm sad. That also helps dealing with the loss. You're not just alone. So I guess.
Have you gotten personal messages about you putting that out there and the people it's helped, because I'll read you one comment that I noticed that said, "Strong words, my man. It's not often that you hear about the losers in the game. You are a winner for putting this on YouTube and educating others about not going all in on hype stocks. I learned from your mistake, my friend. Hope you'll get back stronger."
Yeah.
What does it feel like to get a message like that, bro?
When I put the video, I wasn't expecting anything. My channel was really small. Nobody knew. I just started kind of a channel. 2 days after the loss, I started getting the other feeling, depression, like literally becoming depressed.
Yeah, like how bad did it get? I mean, were you thinking like, man, I don't ever want to invest again ever? Or like, you know, how bad did it get? Did you think I don't want to go on? Like, I don't like my life is over. Like how,
yeah,
you know,
that more of like my life is over rather than just, I don't want to invest again, because I knew it wasn't the stock market. It was me. I was blaming myself. Actually, I was like, I did things that I would normally not advise anyone to do, yet I'm doing it. And for the whole year, I've been kind of doing right with these stocks. At least if you own in Tesla, even if it goes bad after 5 or 10 years, there's a chance that it could recover. But meme stocks is a different,
completely.
It's a different story. So I was really blaming myself. I was like, wow, my life was on the verge of changing. I even planned to make businesses with that money and a lot of things, because I was like, okay, my goal is like kind of 100K. So I wasn't far from there. 80 to 100.
Do you really think that you would have pulled out at 100, honestly? Or do you think you would have wanted to keep going? Because if it were me, I'm thinking, man, I made this 100K pretty easily. Let me just take it to $1 million. Like, I don't know if you would have got out.
I know. It's really difficult, but
like we said earlier, greed is a powerful thing, man.
It's a powerful thing. It's difficult. You even if you say I would take it. So now I would say no. What I said it to myself is that I would take it. But in reality, I don't know if I would.
I would put money on you not taking it. I'm just going to say that.
That's the truth. I got to say it.
Truth. Safe bet right there. So, so you work through your depression and like, I don't want to go on. And what finally helped you, do you think, recover and get back to, being happy again?
So, I was actually really surprised at myself, because normally, like, I've been depressed before, and this time it was like really fast. It didn't take me as much to recover. So for like the first 2 days, I was numb, and then I got depressed for just like 3 days.
Things can sort of go sideways on us in life from our plans, right? We have plans, and then life gives us something else than what our plan was, right? And I feel like it's so fascinating to me to look at, okay, our life was going on this road and now it's going on this road. And what blessings are on this new road? See what I mean? Like this message that I just read from a random person that said you helped them. To me, that's like a gift. Now you're getting like maybe some gifts on this new road. Like
exactly.
we're doing a podcast interview about this. You don't know who's listening right now.
Exactly.
Who it's going to touch.
Earlier on, you mentioned the messages that I got. And then I went to my YouTube channel and I started seeing the messages and getting a lot of views. And I was like, oh, wow.
Like most of the messages were very positive, right?
Yeah, most of them were positive. I was like, I didn't expect it to be this way.
Yeah.
So I was actually happy to see that other people also actually knew what was going on, felt that. But the other parts that I liked most is that it gave me actually motivation to start pretty much a YouTube channel, because it was right at the beginning and I wasn't sure. I was just kind of messing around. But after that video is when I took my YouTube channel seriously. So this is
that's exactly what we do here. It's like in your darkest days, like something beautiful can emerge, right? It's crazy.
Yep,
but I feel like the people that prevent that from happening, the only thing is that they stay bitter. I had a whole different career, man. I worked in the music industry, and that whole thing exploded. My whole music business career exploded. And I was like sad and depressed, bro, for like 5 years, literally 5 years. I was like, I don't know what else I'm going to do. This is all I thought about doing with myself. And then this whole new path emerged for me, right? I got this podcast and I'm getting my master's in clinical psychology right now. So it's like really all good. That was birthed that. You see what I mean?
Really good to see this transformation.
Hey, serious, right? It's what a blessing. Money's great. Money's amazing. But like when it comes to actually like uplifting another human being who's going through something, I feel like we're all built with that inside of us. Like the feeling that we get from being able to have like some kind of positive impact in somebody's life, that gives us a more powerful and longer lasting feeling than just money, right? Because think about it, man, when you buy a new car, that's cool and all, but like after 3 months, like, are you that excited about that car? Like, no, bro, serious. But like, if you help change somebody's life or help lift them up in a dark place, like that shit, it doesn't go away. Like you'll remember that like in 5 years, and I think it'll still feel good for you. The older I get, the more I realize like what's important, and it's cool, man.
Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty sure it's also impacted positively the people around you. Like the transformation you said, you after going through depression and then starting like all over from scratch, new things, it also kind of inspires and affect people around you into different paths.
Yes. They're like, oh, it's possible. Like we get so attached to our vision of, how we think something is supposed to go. Right. And the thing is it doesn't always go like that. So talk to us about this next chapter of your life. Okay. So now how do you look at the market? First of all, let's start there.
Like you said, it completely changed. It's funny because before the stock market, my life was going through a path. I discovered the stock market. I make a lot of money. It had another path. And now the third one, I started by accepting that, okay, things did change. So I'm not going to just live that like as if I had all that money. Now I need to find other ways. Keep going. And I saw the GameStop video made like over 5,000 views while my channel was just like struggling with 200 views or 100 views. So let me just keep going through this. This should be the motivation for me because I started this channel. I didn't know whether it's going to work or not. And I'm like, I'm seeing something happening right here. And I'm seeing support of people, well, all kinds of comments, but it's engagement. So I am actually doing something with this. I made the GameStop video. I saw that it's getting traction, and I was like, okay, let me just keep going into this direction now.
The moral of the story here is you never know when your path goes a whole new direction, who you're going to help and who you're going to change, whose life you're going to change by your new life path. Yeah. That's pretty cool to think about, right?
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, man, because you made it back to investing after taking such a hard loss, right? What could you say to the listeners if they started a business and it didn't work out? Maybe they're new investors and they're excited about the market and then they had a big crash. What can you tell the people about brushing off your shoulders and starting over again?
Very good question. What I would say is that always remind yourself why you got there first, the vision that you had. That's what's going to keep you in there. Actually, it's funny because even the Wall Street Journal, they contacted me and they wanted an interview with me.
That's amazing, man.
Oh, wow.
Did you do it?
But in the end, it didn't happen.
It didn't happen, man.
Yeah. I wasn't happy with some of the terms they came up with. And I was like, okay, that's too much, guys. They've also, which is normal, asked me about screenshots of the money that I lost. I did okay. I don't have any problem. I sent them everything, but then they asked for too many details. I was like, is this like a police interrogation or what?
Jeez. Did you get to connect with other people who took big losses in GameStop? And were you on message boards with other people that also took big losses in GameStop and get to have conversations or get to, because, it could kind of make us feel better sometimes when we are able to talk to somebody that understands like what we're going through?
Not really.
No.
I think like the only the only thing that I had on Wall Street bets, it was the moment when I made the first order, I put a screenshot on Wall Street Bets. You can find it there. And I had like 40,000 likes or something, and people just messaging me. But that was before the crash, and I couldn't obviously reply to all the messages.
Yeah.
But no, it was mostly just with friends.
If you're brand new to this, which many are right now, right? COVID investors. I never heard that term, COVID investor. Make sure you're learning from somebody about how to invest, because investing is a really smart thing. I think it's really a great thing. I think parking your money in a regular bank account is kind of stupid. Yep. Because it's like 0.0001% interest.
Yep.
And please, for the love of God, don't only invest in meme stocks, because that's a collision course, which Mr. Pink can tell you.
Yeah. I know it's tempting, but it's not the right way.
I forgot to say this, but we're living in an environment right now in the time in the world. Like you said, your friend doesn't like 9 to 5. There's so many possibilities with the internet and with podcasts and with YouTube and with Instagram. And there's just so many ways, if you're entrepreneurial, to like really make stuff happen. I feel like it's like the courage that you have to have going into the stock market. You can also channel that same courage to, build a business, be an entrepreneur.
Definitely.
Merci
beaucoup.
Thank you.
Thank you for inviting me to your amazing podcast.
Appreciate you saying that, man. I really do. And thank you for choosing us over Wall Street Journal. It means a lot to us.
I did it.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and we'll see you next episode.